Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sean over here at Lead Dragon. This is our business spotlight, and I got a special guest today. His name is Tevin Facey with Millionaire Essentials. How's it going, Tevin?
How you doing, Sean? Appreciate you bringing me on, man. I really do appreciate you, giving me your time. That I can definitely come on here, share my story, and speak about who I am and what I can do to help everybody.
Yeah, man, no problem. We love to have these from time to time because, there's a lot of course, a lot of the bigger companies, they have the bandwidth and the money, let's say, to get themselves out there. And sometimes, you know, guys like us that have, us having a software business and guys of what you do, sometimes you just got to put yourself out there, even on the what I call the boots on the ground level. And that's what this is. I mean, more and more people, this is 2022. Over the past 5 years, people love to consume podcasts, audible books, which I do too, because I really don't have enough time to
Right.
sit and read a book. So
Same here.
that's why we love to have these spotlights. And particularly, I mean, we do them for a lot of different businesses, but particularly we love to bring on people that are on our platform, Lead Dragon, which you guys are on. You've been on
Right.
it for a little while now, and I know that you guys are making some good strides with that. So I kind of wanted to start. I like people to kind of know a little bit about you. Tell me a little about you and your background, because before we get into what you do, I want to know and let everyone out there know what you did to get where you're at. So kind of give me a background as far back as you want to go, actually.
All right. Appreciate it. So, if we're gonna start back as far as we can go, right? My mom she was an entrepreneur at heart, right? So she was actually a registered nurse. So first at that, that she was making good money. But in her mind, it still wasn't enough, right? So she actually was a registered nurse, and then she also became a home health aide on the side. So even after her job at the hospital, she would leave from the job at the hospital and go to another job as a home health aide and would still try to make more money every single day. So with her doing that, right, it was I always saw that, right? And I played a lot of sports. I played football, I played basketball, baseball. So I was always, just after school, I would be somewhere. So for her, it worked perfectly because then her home health aide job after the hospital, she goes right to it. And then right after that, she comes right and pick me up from school. So just seeing her always in the entrepreneurial spirit, um, it was something beautiful to watch because no matter how much work she did, she always had the energy for me and she always had the time for our family and everything like that. She passed away when I was when I turned 14, my freshman year of high school. I was at a baseball game, waiting for her to pick me up, and it just an aneurysm, and it got to her high blood pressure. Um, so that was definitely a pivotal point in my life, right? And after that, like many people nowadays, you have to decide what do you want to do next, what comes next, right? So my father, he also was an entrepreneur, but um, he moved away from that life. He started to work for DOT. He was a manager, making good money, but he did have his own diesel mechanic shop before that. Um, but he gave that up to get something more solid and stable, right? So moving on a few years, I had a football scholarship, went, did what I had to do, come back. I actually didn't graduate. College just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me at all. Um, and from there, I basically just went ahead, moved forward with my life, and I started working with Raymore and Flanagan. Right,
Mhm.
I was an operations manager, um, just working a regular 9 to 5. And a guy walked in, and this is actually where I met my partner Natalie. Um, we actually met at Raymore and Flanagan,
Okay.
so we were friends at the time, and we're still talking, being friends. And a guy came in and he did a lot of real estate flipping, a lot of investing. And Raymore Flanagan, obviously that's furniture. So he used the furniture from there to do a lot of staging. He would have a storage unit. He would just buy new furniture, put it in the place so it can look good, take it out.
Right.
Just repeat the whole same process, right? But he told us something pivotal about business credit and how you can actually get some business funding. So he literally said to us, look, just open up an LLC. Just open one up, let it sit for about 2 years. Once you let it sit for about 2 years, go ahead and get as much funding as you possibly can. And that was literally all he said to us. He was supposed to come back and purchase, but he purchased over the phone or something like that. So he never came back into the store. So me and Natalie looked at ourselves like, let's look into this. Like, what is it? And like
Yeah.
at the time we were still just friends. Obviously later on it did escalate to being more than friends, and now she's my life partner. But we kept doing the research. Now, meanwhile, I actually left from Raymore and Flanagan, and I started to work for Google Express. So this is a
About what year, what time period was this that you're talking about? How long ago?
okay, so Raymore and Flanagan was about 2015.
Okay.
I was there for a little bit. And then 2017, towards the end of 2016, going into 2017, he told us about the business credit. We started to research it. And then 2017, I actually started to work for Google Express.
Okay.
So Google Express, this was actually the beginning, like I think February of 2017. Google Express, they were trying to combat with Amazon in regards to same day delivery. So I actually came on as an operations manager to help build out the platform for them. So this is where I actually started my, I guess in a sense, entrepreneurial spirit, because now I'm subcontracting for companies. I'm working for myself under a company.
Right.
So I'm working with Google Express. I'm doing good, making good money, giving great input and learning a lot as well, because with Google, you learn a lot about business, right? You learn a lot about how to run a business, how to put structures in place, how to get your workflow so that everything is perfectly organized. And Google, they're big about organization. So that was something that I absolutely loved with my time being there. I stayed there for about 2 years. After those 2 years, I actually moved on from Google Express. I worked for a solar company. So 2017 to 2019. So I worked for a solar company. And with that solar company, I was there as a regular roofer, but I was still being paid as a subcontractor. I moved from there. I got into being an operations manager again. And then the same thing with Con Edison, subcontractor once again. So in the meantime, as I'm working in these jobs, I'm looking up about business credit. I'm looking up about business funding, and I'm learning more about how I can actually use this to my benefit to actually now start a company from literally scratch, $0 out of pocket, and use somebody else's money. So Con Edison last year, I've learned almost everything. I've joined mentorships. I've gotten the information. I've paid for a lot of information. Him 500, Herman Dulce, Joshua Chris, like a lot of people. September of 2021, I got into a car accident. Actually, no, sorry, not September. July 31st. So this is after my birthday. July 31st, I got into a car accident. Going to work at 6:25 in the morning. I remember because I was supposed to be at work. And I was literally 5 minutes away from the job, and I got into this car accident. It was terrible. Totaled the car, and I had a big pickup truck, so it wasn't like I got hurt, but just something in me, it was just like, all right, this is your time. Are you ready to make the risk? And this is what I'm saying to myself. Are you ready to make this risk? Are you ready to go all in, do what you've been learning, and implement it, and actually execute on what you're saying you're gonna do? And I did. So September, I went for funding. Actually, that July, I was already starting to build on my business credit. In September, I built up the scores that I needed for my business credit, got my SPSS score. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But I went for funding from one bank. I paid for the information too. It's not like I got the information for this one bank for free. I paid $5,000 with no hopes on how much I was going to actually get. I paid $5,000, and out of that $5,000, I got $115,000 from one bank. And that's just one bank.
This was last year.
This was last year.
Okay.
I got $115,000. And I said, whoa, that was way too easy. And this was something called a no doc loan.
Yeah.
And literally I had to provide no documents. But there are, you know, your regular business documents that you do have to submit. But from there, I said, if this bank has it, that means there's a lot of other banks that have the same program. So I
Sure.
started to do more research. And I stepped into 2 or 3 other banks, got the same thing. 50,000 loan, 20,000 line of credit, $15,000 credit cards, $100,000 loan again, $30,000 credit card, equipment loans for trucks. Because now I started to. Now remember, I said I wanted to start a business with $0 out of pocket. No, none of my money out of pocket. Using other people's money. So I actually was able to get equipment loans for trucks, right? A lot of people don't know that if you want to get an equipment loan with $0 out of pocket, if you have a business that's 2 years and over, you can get an equipment loan with $0 out of pocket easily. It doesn't even have to be operational. You just have to have a 2-year-old business.
Okay.
So with that, I was able to acquire 3 trucks. And then I just moved on and I kept getting funding. Even this past week, I just got $60,000.
Nice. So let's stop right there for just a second. Let me bring it from where you started to now.
Right.
So all the way back in school with your mom, her hustle, you know, obviously that rubbed off on you and you stuck with that.
Right.
Come out of, left college. Same for me. I didn't even do college.
Right.
Because there's just so much knowledge in the world right now.
Absolutely.
You can honestly get it cheaper if you just go straight to the sources, but that's another podcast for us to have there.
Right.
So someone told you about LLCs, business credit, and then last year using an accident. And now over this past, call it 7, 8, 9 months,
Yep.
you started acquiring other people's money,
Yep.
all this money, and investing that into things that's going to become income producing assets. So
Yes.
I think that's where we are to right this point. So now tell me what Millionaire Essentials does. Are you now helping people?
Yes. So we're now helping regular people like myself. Like I was at a job. I was a regular person, just like everybody else. We're now helping regular people as well as business owners, because you know a lot of business owners, they don't even know about business credit. They don't know about how you can actually get yourself funding, opposed to going to a broker that's going to charge you 10, 20%. And especially not only that, going to a place that's actually going to give you a great APR for a certain amount of years, right? Because merchant cash advance, PayPal, all these other smaller finance companies, they're going to give you short terms and high APRs.
Sure.
We're teaching you how you can get longer terms and low APRs so that you can actually be profitable in business.
Yeah. If I may, I'm going to explain something to our listeners is that my background, of course, I never really tell it that much unless we're on shows like this. I was a mortgage loan officer for 8 years before we started our agency 3 years ago. And let me just say something. For 8 years, I probably took over 3,500 applications. I was on a big team, and then I created my own big team. I probably took over 3,500 applications, which means that I looked at over 3,500 credit reports.
Yep.
3,500 tax returns. I've seen it. I've pretty much seen it all when I was in the industry. I was, for the most part, I was a personal credit expert because I looked at so many of them every day. I knew it inside and out. I could literally like take a printed out credit report, rip through it, get it back to the client, say, do this, this, and this, and call me back for 4 months.
Yep.
And that was the extent of it. But, and did very well in that industry, knew all of that. And then just in this past, call it 1.5 years, working with guys like you and some other guys that use Lead Dragon, I was like, what is this? You're talking about business credit. What's that? So I started looking at it myself and I was like, oh my goodness, it's like a whole nother world compared to, because I knew the other world of personal was like, I could show anybody how to go get $250,000 in personal credit and how to clean up their credit in 6 months and all that.
Right.
But like you're saying, if you want to go to the next level, what you guys are teaching, you've got to educate yourself. Like I'm personally going through it myself. I've now, because of guys like you and others, I've now have these business credit
Right.
because of LLCs. I've gotten different LLCs now. And correct me if I'm wrong, but had just found out too that now, depending on what kind of business credit you're going to get, you don't necessarily have to wait 2 years to get some good money, do you?
No, no, you don't. You don't have to wait 2 years. 2 years is just the pinnacle, like, right? That's where you can get the big loans. You can get the big,
Yeah, the big.
because that's, a lot of people, they want to look for that, right? But they don't even understand that you can even get credit cards that's for a large limit as well if your personal credit is built properly.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have those limits on your personal credit, so let's say if you have a $10,000, $20,000 card on your personal credit, if you go for business funding, they give you 2 to 3 times more
Yeah, I've seen that. That's awesome.
credit.
Yeah, yeah.
Chase has a card that goes up to $250,000 on one card.
Which card is that?
That's the Ink Unlimited. The
Ink
Chase,
Unlimited. Okay, so
yeah,
it can go up to that.
yeah, it can go up to $250,000. One
Okay.
card.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible, man. So
I've
you
been paying clients $50,000 with just Chase alone.
so what is your process? Obviously, everybody that comes to you, the first step is making sure they got good credit, right? Are you taking them up the ladder, helping them through the credit, and then get to the point where they can get business credit, and then teaching them
Yeah,
how
so
to use that?
so we're definitely teaching them how to, personally build your credit profile so that when you go for business credit, now you have something that's, feasible for the actual creditor to look at and say, oh, okay, cool. He has something that can work with, right?
Yeah,
That's something that I can look at and say, cool, this is what he needs now on the business credit side so that he can now be profitable in his business and grow and scale his business to where it needs to be. So yes, we are teaching about personal credit building. We are teaching about how to build business credit properly. And then we are teaching about how you can actually get the funds that you're looking for, whether it be through credit cards, loans, lines of credit, equipment loans, anything. We have the relationships. We've done the research. We've actually done the legwork. Let us help and teach you how you can do the same.
yeah. So just like the other guys that you mentioned earlier that you reached out to, you spent money just like I do. Important thing is go get around these people, right? That have already done it. You've learned from them, and now sounds like you're killing it with like knowing the different banks to go to. So now you're teaching it, which is amazing because, like all those guys that you mentioned, there's people that they can't even reach. I mean, they reach a lot of people, but you're reaching different people, just like myself. I reach a certain amount of people, and more folks need to know about business credit. I'm telling you,
Right.
after the pandemic, everybody, there's a lot of businesses that just went under. I know the government tried to hand out some money and keep them going, but that's just a band-aid, right? It's
Yeah.
just really is. And then, but most of us as good American citizens, we want to be able to go get it on our own. And sometimes the only way to do that is like get your credit right, like you're teaching, get that business credit. Because are there any like are there any limits to what you can get on the business credit side, or just going
So
based off of your
the
credit?
only way it becomes a limit is when you get something called a UCC, a UCC filing, right?
Mhm.
So with that UCC filing, it basically puts a damper on how much you can start to get, right? But the way how we teach you is that when you get no doc loans and no doc line of credit, they don't put UCC filings on you because you're not providing the proper documents that they need so that they can
I
put a
see. I
filing on it.
see.
Yeah, so it's more of a hack. So a UCC filing is basically just like a lien on the business saying,
Hmm.
hey, we've loaned this person money first and nobody else can come to you.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So with that, when you're getting a UCC filing placed on your business, is because you've shown tax returns, you've shown the statements, you've shown
Okay.
um your personal financial statements. It's showing that bank that, hey, I've given you everything, and you are the only person that I'm going to be going with.
Right.
Where we're teaching you, you can go to different people.
So you're showing people how to go take the path of least resistance, right?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's the way to go for sure. I mean, I've got multiple businesses, and trust me, same here. I was like, sure, I know a bank right now that would love to give me a ton of money, but I don't want them to have all my stuff.
Mm-mm.
Because I know of another bank um, that I can go, and they're probably just going to do a soft pull, just make sure my credit's good, and I can get pretty much what I want with no
Right.
docs, like you said. That
Exactly.
that's the only way to roll. I mean,
It is.
obviously, you're getting into the area to probably one day, when you get to a certain level, it's okay. I mean, you want to go, if you want to get millions, you'll have to do those things, but
Exactly.
like you're teaching, you can go a long ways with just getting the no docs, and then the business credit cards. I've done that myself from
Yeah.
a lot of your teachings, what you're teaching out there. I think my last round I got like 76,000 with a
Right.
credit card thing, just from and it was simple. But there again, it goes back to the credit. I mean, I've got excellent credit,
Mhm.
but the thing is, you guys are taking people that, like, what if somebody comes to you in the 500s? Can you help them get
Yes.
up?
So we even like even in our first class, we're teaching obviously about personal credit building, but we are letting you know some strategies on how you can fix your credit, right? Because
Mhm.
that's needed, right? Without you doing anything in business credit, if you want to build business credit fast and organically as well, you need that personal credit. If you want to do it the longer way, the non-PG route, I believe in it, but for me, it takes too long. If you're gonna
Yeah,
there for a year, almost 2 years, trying to build something up just so you can try to get some money at some point, you could have done that with your personal credit in less than a month, 2 months. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
yeah.
that's why that personal credit is definitely needed. Like,
Oh
it's a need.
yeah. Would you say that, of course, not everybody's got excellent credit, but would you say that definitely getting into the 700s is where you want to be able to get a hold of a lot of it?
Definitely 700s, but not only that, but your credit profile is definitely important, right? So scores are great, but your profile is absolutely important because you can have a 700, but have a derogatory showing a collections or something that's only like $50. It still doesn't matter about the dollar amount. They won't approve you because you have that derogatory, right? You want to have at least two accounts averaging over 5,000, right? If even if it's averaging 2,000, that's something that you can still work with,
Yeah,
right? You want to have low inquiries, so less than 3 inquiries. You want your utilization to be under 10%. You want these things because now when you go to a bank, MNT or Chase or Bank of America, when they look at your profile, they see, oh, okay, he's not a big risk to us. That word risk is very important because
hmm,
even on Duns and Brad, on Nav, or on these sites that you can go on to check your business credit, that's the way how they assess your business, and that's the way how they assess your business credit. They'll put low risk,
yeah,
medium, high risk, and that's the way how they assess you. So you don't want to be a risky business. You don't want to be a risky person to that bank, or else they're just not going to give you anything.
yeah. I got you. I got you. So you guys are taking them up the ladder, so to speak. No. So talk about the last part, which is once you helping them get the business credit, is there another layer to where maybe you're going to teach them how to invest?
Yes. So we teach them basically how to invest into other businesses, right? So the hot businesses now are Airbnb, Toro, trucking, real estate, right? That's not the only businesses that's out there. Laundromats, car wash,
Yeah,
find actual business that's profitable already. We're teaching
correct.
how you can actually look for those businesses and actually purchase them. Storage units, right? These are things that you can actually purchase instead of just going to the average business that you see everybody doing, right? I have a trucking business. I'm not gonna lie. I
Mhm.
have real estate.
Mhm.
But I am moving into other things. I have an Amazon store, right? That's not an average business that everybody looks at every day. It
Right.
is highly marketed, but we want to teach you other businesses that you can actually get into, right? And I started all these businesses with $0 out of pocket.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
used the money from the business credit and started these businesses, and now I'm profitable.
Yeah. And nowadays, and it's really big on trying to purchase another business because of the track record of when somebody starts a business, it fails within 12, 24 months.
Mm-hmm.
It makes more sense nowadays to go find a business that's already been in business for a couple of years that's actually making some money, and then try to be able to acquire that and run with that,
Right.
because then you're eliminating all that startup time and trying to push it. And
Absolutely.
those are things that we look at. Me and my business partner is like, we keep our eye on different businesses that we know that we could take it
Right.
and continue to grow it, because I know what it's like, just like you do. I know what it's like to try to start up a business. It's rough, it's tough.
It is.
So having business credit and lines at the bank, to be able to have access to money, that puts you in a power position to have these choices like we're talking about, to go buy an existing business, or go buy into a partnership with a business, or whatever it is you need to do. Options is really the key to, in my opinion, to life. Like you see in the background, my virtual background, this page is like, I'm 52 years old. I've kind of done a lot of things through my life, and been a serial entrepreneur all my life. But as I get into my 50s, I'm more and more concerned about options and freedom.
Mhm.
And the only way to have those is, and let's just call it like it is, it's money. And 20 years ago, this we would be having a different conversation
Right.
when it comes to money. It's accessible. I mean, like
It
guys
is.
like you are teaching how to go from not having any to, within a year and a half, you could have $250,000 if
Right.
you get your credit right and get the right business credit lines. And then, like you said, then you teach them how to do the play where they go to the bank and get even more. I
Yep.
mean, if you're not, if you're not doing that, it's because you don't want to, because it's out there. You just got to do it. Now,
It's at risk.
yeah, anybody that's listening to this, I would highly recommend that you reach out to Tevin and pay the price, pay the money to get that knowledge, because anything that we do, I know, I think that you and I even met through some other guys, through some
Mhm.
business deals. It's all about getting around the right people, right?
Right.
Like, you just probably have been to a conference in the past month or so. I have too. I'm going to two this month. Um, Pay to get in the right rooms to talk to the right people so you can get the right knowledge. People used to talk about, you got to have knowledge. No, you got to have the right knowledge. There's plenty of
Yep.
knowledge out there. It's the right ones, like the guys that you mentioned, him and Herman and all these guys. Um, they've got the right knowledge. You took it, you paid the price, you took it, and now, like you said, you spent 5,000 to get up, what, 110,000.
Yeah, 115
I'll do that every day of the week and twice on
every
Sundays.
day. Every single day I'll do that. If you can find me a play that I can spend 5,000 and I make 115, I will do that every single day.
Yeah, and then and I can't even imagine the numbers you take, what you can do with 115. You know, you should be able to turn that into 1 million within a few years, and that's
Yep.
just on one play, right? So, there's so many more things to be able to talk about, and maybe we'll have another show soon. Me and you'll get back
Right.
on, and we'll go specifically into maybe the different industries that you would suggest to people. Like, hey,
Right.
we can kind of talk about, hey, if you want to get your credit right, to get your business credit, get that money, here's like two or three businesses that I would recommend, and then we could talk about that. So,
Right.
but man, thanks for being on the show. Before we go, I want to, what's the best way for someone to get in touch with you? What's your web address?
So you can definitely visit Millionaire Essentials Academy. Um, Actually, you can also visit us on Instagram at Tevin Facey, um, at
Eh,
Essential ABC Solutions.
Okay, at Tevin Facey is your handle for Instagram?
Yeah, and then my business. So I partnered up with a partner of mine. His name is Brandon Jackson. He's
Mhm.
also on Instagram, Brandon the Provider. So we are Millionaire Essentials, right? So Brandon, he also has his own trucking business. He has a credit repair business. He has real estate a lot. So it's not like I'm doing this by myself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Collaboration over competition, and we came together and put this platform together for you guys, right? And um, and I'm so glad that we did because we work so perfectly hand in hand and we mesh so well. And now we're able to provide the same information that we both know. And we've come together as a collective. And now we provide that same information. And it's superb, right? It's
Yeah.
beautiful and it's a beautiful symmetry. And his Instagram handle as well is Brandon underscore the underscore provider. And you can visit us online. And we have our links in our bio. You can definitely visit us there as well. And you
Yeah.
can a call with us too.
Awesome. And because, you're probably going to share this will be shared on social and other places. So if you're listening, either look above or below in the comments or up in the regular area. And that way you can type in, all that information you just said, because,
I definitely will.
this, depending on where you share this out, there'll be some people this is going to reach that they don't even know who you are yet. So
Right.
just make sure you put all that in there. But man, thanks for being on the show. We'll do this again, definitely, because I want to kind of pick your brain so that other people can understand what the ultimate goal could be. Is it to where like this in the background, they're working from, the beach or wherever all the time? Or
Yeah.
is it to have, get in real estate, trucking, Turo, Airbnb, like you said, buying a bit warehouse, buying maybe a laundromat, whatever it is. I'd like to have that discussion on another call. That way
Absolutely.
we can make people think, because sometimes, a lot of people can't get motivated until they can understand what the finish line is for them. So if they know that, oh wow, I could, invest into real estate,
Right.
and then that's how you guys are going to teach them how to go from zero to, being able to leverage money in the banks to where, man, they could just invest in real estate. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And I never thought I could do it the way I'm doing it until I had heard about business credit, the credit cards, and now I have some of my local banks. One in particular calls me. He's like, when you gonna come get some money? And
Exactly.
I love them calls. I'm
Yeah,
like,
they will hound you down. I get those calls every day too because obviously now that I've built the business credit, right? I'm making the money. They see the money coming in. Like
yes,
like Bank America has me as a platinum honors member. I didn't even know that existed, right? Until
yeah, yeah.
making that money. And they still call me to this day, like, hey, are you gonna, get a loan or line of credit with us? No, sorry, not yet.
Yeah, that's a before we go, that's a good point about the money thing. Is, if you've got the money flowing into that bank, that's a quick way for them to say, hey, do you want some more money? So I learned that really quick. Tevin, I appreciate it once again, man. Thanks for being on the show,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
This has been our business spotlight of the week with Tevin Facey and Millionaire Essentials. Stay tuned for the next episode. See you guys.
Peace.